Did you see the clip of the man who kept eating his salad at the White House Correspondents
I have
Dinner?
a bad back. Ooh, wait. No.
Listen.
Listen.
Wait.
I hate you for that.
Let me fix it.
Oh, hello and welcome back to Lemme Fix
Okay.
I got so excited.
Yeah,
hello
you did.
and welcome back to Lemme Fix It, the podcast that says... Come on now. Class, welcome back. How are you doing, Fran?
What is your name?
My name is Stallion. I'm an actor, a singer, a writer, photographer, and an educator. Oh,
And I'm
so
Francesca
much tension
Ramsey.
already. I'm over here
you-
jovial.
Am
I'm proud. I'm
Am
excited.
I allowed to talk? I'm Francesca Ramsey. I'm a TV writer. I'm an actress. I'm a content creator. And I'm the embodiment of the phrase burning the candle at both ends. I'm a nub. I'm a nub of a candle.
You know the thing about you. One of the things that is so true about you, and one of the things that I respect, was also like, ooh, you know when you are having a feeling. If Fran is tired, she is not fighting through it. If she is having a feeling, like my former therapist used to say this, everybody is having that feeling. Listen, go ahead, go off, girl.
You know, here's what it is. It's that if I don't verbalize it, it's going to come out in ways that I maybe don't anticipate or I cannot control. And I learned this. I think I told you this story that, like, when I was a kid in class, the teacher, I would always get in trouble because my face would be giving me away. I wouldn't even say anything. The teacher would be like, Francesca, leave. I'm like, what? And I'm sitting there like, looking at them all crazy. And so if I give voice to how I'm feeling, then at least I can take some ownership to say, I'm running on fumes today. I really am.
Know thyself. And class, we are holding space for everybody that's tuning in, but especially Francesca. Let's lift her up today. In that vein, why don't you start us off with your headline, giving you all the space?
Oh, thank you. I was going to give it to you because I've been waffling between two, but I feel like the one that we have to talk about is this White House Correspondents Dinner shooting. I mean, shots were fired. Shots were
definitely fired.
But
That's a quote from Caroline Levitt. She said it first. Listen, we'll get there, but she said it first.
Not Miss Cleo working for the White House. She sure did. And so, class, if you have been living under a rock, this story, my God, on today, whenever Donald Trump feels that, people are not on his side, suddenly, his life is in danger, shots have been fired. So, this was interesting because this is the first White House Correspondents Dinner that Donald Trump has attended.
Mm-hmm.
And so just after 8:30, an armed man charged a security checkpoint and exchanged shots with law enforcement, and a Secret Service officer was struck, but he was saved by a protective vest. Now, I have been to one White House Correspondents Dinner.
Oh, okay. Excuse me.
My boss, Larry Wilmore, was hosting that year, and so that's why I got to go. The security there is tight. And so that alone tells me that this does not pass a sniff test.
Well, and let's be clear, right? This is full of press. The White House Correspondents Association is the free press, right? And the reason this dinner exists is because it's actually a way for the people who occupy the White House, meaning whatever political party and the president, and the free press who hold them accountable, to have a night of convivial jokes where shots are fired, where jokes are told, right? And everyone's, despite the contention that happens on the regular basis, hey, everyone's here together.
We set it aside.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, wait, convivial? Is that what you said?
That's right. SAT. You know what that means? Friendly.
Oh, convivial. I never heard that.
That sounds like your sister's name, doesn't it?
Convivial. Put that down.
Totally. Wait, that reminds me. Have you seen that joke of Jessica with the parents with their kid?
When the baby class, this is so funny. If a kid is crying, if you say Jessica, the kid stops crying.
It's so funny. And calling around. Some people look around like, where's she at? So funny. So anyway, it's this way for, to be friendly and be kind instead of contentious all the time. But the idea that this night was full of press and everybody is literally live tweeting, putting out all of the information, and all of these conspiracy theories ran rampant, because it's hard for me to believe too. But at the same time, if the press is there telling it, like, how do we? I don't know.
Here's the thing.
My thing is, let me just say this last thing.
Yes. Okay.
It's not. I just don't know what not to believe. That's what's happening. Continue.
Well, somebody said this, and I'm going to butcher it, but it's like, just because it's staged doesn't mean everybody has gotten the sides for the play. You know what I mean? Like, so yes, I think you're correct in that there were a lot of people on the ground who were saying we were scared. This was not staged. This was real. And I think multiple things can be true. Yes, somebody did roll up in there with a gun, but you cannot tell me that it was orchestrated for him to be able to get that far, because there is no way in hell. Like, again, I've been to a fucking White House Correspondents Dinner. I've been to the White House. You cannot get within 5 fucking feet of the White House without there being security and metal detectors and all these things. And even like the footage that you do see, they go and grab JD Vance before they grab Donald Trump is sitting there. At one point, he has a smile on his face, like, yeah, it's all going down.
Well, that's one of the reasons people are saying that it was giving the same thing that happened in Butler, Pennsylvania, with the last assassination attempt. I can't remember that. I think there have been like 3 now, exactly. But there's one at his golf course too. But the shots were fired and he was shot, and then they were just kind of chilling. They didn't run off with him yet.
Right. And there's just too many things that feel, again, not to diminish anyone who was there and was feeling rightfully terrified, right? Because you hear guns go off, and that's a scary thing. I've never been in that situation. I can't imagine. But what is so crazy to me is just like the levels of hypocrisy, because people the response has not been, wow, we need gun control because this man came from California to DC on a train and he brought all these guns with him. And the first thing that Donald Trump says is, we need a ballroom. That's what we need, is a ballroom.
Well,
see?
And that's another reason people are saying they're leaning into the conspiracy of it all, because right after the assassination attempt, there was this late night press conference, and Donald Trump was like, "This is a reason we need a ballroom."
Smiling,
and then his DOJ, his Department of Justice, now is going to the federal judge who halted the ballroom and is saying, "We actually need this as a safety concern," which is really ridiculous, because that. It's just ridiculous.
Are we giving? My question is: are we going to give state-of-the-art ballrooms to every school in America? Because y'all don't have the same energy. Again, I don't want to diminish anybody who felt scared. I cannot imagine. But now imagine if you were a child and you were at school, how you would feel going through that. And now it's all about, the amount of astroturfing that I saw online where people were posting the exact same thing over and over again. I don't want to hear a leftist talk about we don't need a ballroom. I don't want to hear a Democrat say we don't need and it was like, y'all are bots, and or you're all being fed the exact same, talking points. But that's not the solution here. Again, the fact that he took a train, it's just weird. Who's taking a train from California to DC? Okay. Well, but the fact that he was able to do that with a gun, that should have been to me, that's the answer of like, why, how was he able to do that? And how do we make sure that other people are not able to do this? You don't actually care about people's safety. You care about the fucking ballroom.
Right. Well, and I think the other part of it is, we haven't heard enough about all of the people who have made these attempts. Evidently, it's been like 3 or 4.
Except for this one.
Because he's black. Well, because he's black. Let's talk about it. right?
Hello.
But like we haven't heard that much about the other ones, and that also is suspect because that would be ongoing news. And maybe it's just there's so much in the news on a regular basis, especially with this administration, that it's hard to keep up, right? That just fires everywhere. So, but I do think like we would hear more about it. I think the other part of the conspiracy stuff is like Trump just tries to do a really good job of overshadowing things when the press isn't good. So we're at war with Iran. The economy's in
Epstein files.
Epstein files. Like he's doing everything to distract. So I mean, I hate to say it, but like I allegedly runs in my head when it comes to this because I just it feels staged. It does feel staged.
And I think to your other point about, we know we're hearing all this stuff about the gunman, even the manifesto, not to say, he might have been unwell. He might have really wanted to do this. Who knows? But the fact that we got the manifesto immediately, I'm like, it's just too convenient.
Easy.
It's just too easy. It's too convenient. Did you see the sit down interview again? Just
oh my God.
At which this is all moving, where I forget her name, but she says the irony. She says to him, she's reading from the manifesto.
O'Donnell. Something O'Donnell.
Yeah, the manifesto said something about, and first of all, it didn't even say Donald Trump is a pedophile. It just said, these pedophiles and felons and blah, blah, blah. And Donald Trump says, I am not a pedophile. I said, sir, you're telling on yourself. Because it didn't say Donald Trump.
My favorite part was her bad acting. The reporter bad acting. She was like, "Oh, you think it says you?" And I was like, "Okay, something O'Donnell. Yeah. What is her name? I forget her name. Anyway,
Clara or something. I don't know
something
what her name
O'Donnell.
is. But what was interesting to me, again, the bar is in hell because I saw a lot of people being like, "I'm so glad she's pushing back," and I'm like, "She's not really pushing back. Like she did bring it to him and say like, hey." Some people are saying that this feels like it was staged or whatever, and he's just browbeating her. And
I think that's the problem is that like I feel like reporters have, and this is me projecting a lot, but I feel like reporters have just learned that you have to let him just be disgusting. Because like, what are you going to do? Get into a fight with him and go back and forth? Like she hurt, you know what I mean? Just let him.
You're going to have a fight with him, but it's like answer the question. Here's what I asked you. He's so good at redirecting and saying something like not answering what has been said at all.
Or makes it about you. He makes you, you're a terrible person. You're a disgrace.
And I want real-time fact checking. Here is what happened. Here is what you've said. And even like connecting the dots to, again, this whole ballroom situation. Let's talk about gun control. Let's talk about gun control because that is a solution that I don't want to see anybody's life in danger, but the convenience at which this always happens to Donald Trump and it turns into the Democrats and the Antifa and the blah, blah, blah. This happens. There are children who've gone through school shootings in high school and then have gone through them again in college.
Right.
In the same lifespan. Yeah. That is... I just don't understand how you can be pro-life, and then not actually care about children getting shot up in school, like elementary school kids.
Well, they don't. They don't care. They care. They care about the bottom line, which is money at the end of the day, right? And power, which is really the hard part about being at the moment we are in society for me is just the disillusionment that I think we're all experiencing, right? There's literally, we often try to give hope on this podcast class because you have to have some kind of hope to just do your day to day. But it's eroding. Like I don't find much hope in the system, in our systems, in our government. I don't know where we go from here, even when we're talking about the midterms, right? Because that has always been voting and the next election has kind of always been the light at the end of the tunnel, for lack of a better phrase. But even that feels like, girl, is the light on?
Yeah.
Because I don't really feel it.
And you heard they're coming for Jimmy Kimmel again.
Oh God!
Listen, Jimmy Kimmel.
He said this days before the thing happened.
Before class.
Come for Caroline Levitt, because she said it before the damn thing happened too.
Again, the hypocrisy. We know that it's baked into how the Trump administration operates, but days before, Jimmy Kimmel was making jokes about the White House Correspondents Dinner, and he said that Melania Trump had the glow of an expectant widow, okay? Then, so they didn't care about it until after the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Then they're like, "Oh, he was, saying that there should be political violence." No, he's making a joke about Donald Trump being old and sundowning and very clearly deteriorating. But even so, might I remind the class that in March, Donald Trump was celebrating the death of former FBI Director Robert Mueller by writing, "Good, I'm glad he's dead." So, are you allowed to celebrate
Rob Reiner? Like, I mean, insert blank. Insert blank. Trump has celebrated the death of many a person who he didn't like. And the idea that, like, this is obviously the right coming for Jimmy Kimmel and let them. But, like, what's hard to me is that there's so much power and capital and capitalism around it. The idea that he got fired the first time and reinstated because of public backlash makes me really anxious and nervous. The idea that what they say and do now actually has some kind of staying power, which I didn't believe before, actually is going to sway markets and move things, is the really, really egregious part.
Well, and I just want to say, all of the comedians who are wow about cancel culture, Dave Chappelle, y'all need to be really loud about the fact that Jimmy Kimmel is potentially having his job threatened yet again. And this idea of we're not allowed to make jokes. No, here we are actually seeing a comedian. And like, look, Jimmy Kimmel is not my favorite person. He is not the first person to be attacked by Donald Trump. But again, the hypocrisy of the amount of people, especially on the right, who are always going, cancel culture has gotten out of control, where you can't make a joke about the fact that Donald Trump is old. Y'all were talking about Sleepy Joe and, hanging effigies of the Obamas, like saying all sorts of, making really racist and sexist sexual jokes about Kamala Harris. And now a joke about Melania Trump, who, let's be real, she is counting down the fucking days till Donald Trump dies. She do not like that man.
Please. She likes money, like we all do. I mean, here's the thing I'll say. They're used to us, especially on the left, getting in a tizzy, getting in a fifi over balance and morality, and because we have more than they do, right?
Yes.
And so I think, I'm going to speak about this later in the episode here. But when we fight back, or when we make a joke that claps back in the same vein, then we're wrong, and they just scream louder than we do. Right, because we're over here trying to make sure everything's okay and just trying to live life, right? But their whole kind of brand is outrage. It's outrage. Everything is wrong, and it's your fault, right? So the idea that we're over here saying we're going to let bygones be bygones and just vote, and then fight back a little bit. They're not used to that. Yeah. They're not used to us really having a knife at the fight.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, class, I'm just so like, where do we go from here? It just seems like every freaking day it's something else, and I'm like, I can't take more news. I can't take more news.
Well, that's the point. I think, what is his name?
The shock and awe.
Steve Bannon. Yes. Flood the zone. Flood the zone is what it's called. Yeah. It's just like there's so many things happening at once that we can't keep up, and we can't actually see the shit that's the corruption specifically that's happening, because this is the most corrupt White House that's ever existed. I mean, the ways in which they're stealing from us is crazy.
Yeah. Did you see the clip of the man who kept eating his salad at the White House Correspondents Dinner?
I have a bad back.
He said, I have a bad back. I couldn't get on the floor. And even if I did get on the floor, they'd have to bring in people to get me off the floor. Number 2, I'm a hygiene freak. There was no freaking way I was getting my new tux on that dirty Hilton floor. It's not happening. He said, this ain't real. He said, this ain't real. Well,
please.
Well, the other thing that's been going around in addition to Caroline Levitt saying shots will be fired, is that somebody called into Fox News and they said they were sitting next to her husband and that he said something along the lines of, I just want you to be safe tonight. And then Fox cut the feed from the person calling in. They said, I think we lost. We lost them.
See,
they knew.
And after the Epstein files, I've talked about this on the podcast. After the Epstein files being true, and I really thought that was a conspiracy theory, I don't know what not to believe. I just don't know what not to believe. Let's hop over to some fixes. What do you got?
No. What's your? Well,
it's
did
me.
you?
Oh, good.
Did
I'm
you,
such a gentleman.
Did you have a headline, or was that the one?
My headline was absolutely the White House Correspondents Dinner. So my topic for the fix today is kind of already a fix, and I think it's a little cheeky, and I really dig it. So, women's reproductive health and reproductive freedom has kind of like left the conversation at the moment after after Roe v. Wade was overturned, and I know that we're still fighting that fight, but like we don't hear about it on a regular basis. And I think one of the ways to resolve that, to put it back in the conversation, is to take it to men too. So, Fran, I don't know if you heard about this, but Ohio.
Snip.
She said, "Sizzle, sizzle, fry that thing right."
Yeah.
So, Ohio State has, in their legislation, they have a bill called the Contraception Begins at Erection Act. Have you heard about this, Fran?
No, and I love the rhyme scheme.
Right, contraception begins at erection. So a congressperson in Ohio State legislature has introduced this bill. It makes it a felony for a man to ejaculate without intending to have a baby. Ooh. The bill was introduced by Representative, Anita Somani, who said, you don't get pregnant on your own. Yeah. If you're going to penalize someone for an unwanted pregnancy, why not penalize the person who is also responsible for the pregnancy? Talk about it.
Ohio.
Okay. So there's some expectations, such as, there's some exceptions. So if you use protection during sex, you're exempt. If you are part of the LGBTQ community, who doesn't produce ova, and you're exempt. Masturbating, donating sperm, you're exempt.
You're fine.
If you are having unprotected sex, heterosexual sex,
I love this.
You are. Isn't this brilliant?
So I love this.
This felony would cost totally sperm tax. This felony would cost violators thousands of dollars with a max of $10,000 per discharge. I'm about this. I know it's cheeky.
It's discharge?
Yes. You better we'll be counting them tissues.
Shoot the club up. You got to cut the check.
Put the club up. Put the club up. It's cheeky. It's so cheeky, but I think I want to see more of this, because representatives in Ohio State are saying, well, this is ridiculous. It makes a mockery of the fight that they're having.
No,
it's all a mockery.
If a woman can be arrested for having an abortion, and a life-saving one, right? Like there are women who want to have children and have spent tons of money and time tracking their periods and doing all this stuff to try and have a baby. If those women then need a life-saving abortion and can be arrested for it, it's happening. Yeah. Then you should absolutely, if you are a man, have unprotected sex, you should face some consequences too.
Well, in what world is it not balanced that way, right? I know we live in a patriarchy, but we are dismantling that as much as we can. So in what world are you not going to, you're going to go to the man for some kind of child support, right? You can take his ass for child support. Yes, I think it's the same thing. I'm about it. Mississippi had a bill as well in 2025. It was called Contraception Begins at Erection Act. The same thing. Contraception begins at erection. Again, it failed in committee, but they also had a bill, and they were saying, what did they say? It's discharge genetic material without the intent to fertilize an embryo. That will cost you $1,000 for the first time offenders, $5,000 for second time, and $10,000 for further offenses. That's what I'm talking about.
Discharge without intent to have, that is, the language there is hilarious.
I'm about it.
So am I.
I think it's also to the hypocrisy of it all. But again, it asks the question, right? How are you going to, people, to your point, women are dying. Women are dying because they can't get basic medical care, because doctors are scared of being sued because of these laws. So great. If a woman has to die, then a man can be at base
least.
find. At base
At least.
find, you know?
Yes. Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, so I'm about this fix. Yep. What's yours?
Oh man. Well, I just want to say that my fix, it's a sad one, but I do think that there is light at the end of the tunnel, to use your phrasing, Delon. You probably heard about Meg the Stallion and Klay Thompson breaking up.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that the way Black women have showed up and rallied around Meg the Stallion is beautiful, because these fuck ass, bum ass men out here have been showing their asses. And I'm not surprised, but at the same time, it is just so frustrating how Black women continuously are not protected. And I myself and a lot of other women feel a huge affinity to Meg, because, you know, she lost her mom, she lost her dad, she lost her grandmother, she got shot. I mean,
God.
she's been through so much. She's so talented, she's so young, she's so hardworking, and there continues to be this really misogynistic, racist narrative around her. And we were all really happy to see her, you know, get with a guy who presumably was treating her right, but has now been exposed as a cheater. And I'm really glad to see Black women assembling like Voltron, because everybody was like, great, now we can talk about how ugly he was. And it was just...
I didn't say
Everyone's like, great, now we can all acknowledge.
Well, I mean, he won. He won in that scenario. I mean,
she was the prize. She was the prize for sure. But like, it was just, again, it was the thing that we were all on code. You know what I mean? Like, we were all in code. We were like, she's happy, so we're going to be happy for her. But now that it's over,
right?
Oh my God, my favorite post on Threads was somebody said, now can we acknowledge that Klay Thompson looks like the PBS logo? And then PBS was in the comments, said, why am I in it?
Take my name out your mouth. You better, PBS. Come on.
Oh my God. I laughed so hard. The most recent development is that, you know, Meg is in Moulin Rouge right now, and she is ending her run early. I think she still had like 2 more weeks in
They
her.
They extended because she was doing so, the show was doing so well with her in it. Yeah.
And so then she's decided not to continue, and there's been some backlash. But you know what? I have to say, I commend her for being honest with herself and saying, I can't do this. And there's been people being like, well, I want my money back. Okay, you should ask for your money back.
That's
Call your
legitimate.
credit card company.
That's legitimate.
But also, that happens. People on shows say, I can't do my run. That's why they have understudies. She was a stunt cast. Again, no shade to her, but like, these shows bring in celebrities for limited runs. It happens. I think it's fine. Again, people are going back and forth and saying, well, that's not right, and I have to go to my job. Okay, well, guess sometimes you have a day and you go, I'm not going to fucking work. And ultimately, she's not doing brain surgery. So if she decides she can't do it because she's grieving, and again, she's being harassed over this, people are saying the most nasty things about her, and she is prioritizing her mental health. And she's talked about this very, vulnerably in her music and in her interviews about how hard it's been to be in the public eye without family. And then, you know, the excitement of a new relationship. I totally support her being like, you know, I got to end. I got to take a break and focus on my own healing, because God forbid, you know, when you hear about somebody taking a turn, suddenly it turns into, oh my God, where was everybody? Well, you guys were pushing them to show up when they weren't ready and when they weren't fully healed. So again,
I mean, I will. We often say 2 things can be true, many things can be true at once. I think people have every right to be upset. I think people have every right to criticize the move. But she is well within her rights to do what she needs to do for her mental health. You know what I mean? I think both things can be true. I mean, the difficult thing, and this is not a criticism, but I think it's just kind of factual, internet factual. The difficult thing about this is when you put your stuff on the internet like that, you do open yourself to people to criticize you. But at the same time, you're a public figure. So people already feel like they have a parasocial relationship with you. And no matter what you do, as you know, people are going to say shit about you online. So like inevitably it happens. But it just sucks that like celebrating your relationship and really being open, because a lot of artists, we do that, right? We do it on the podcast. You can't help but share of yourself. It makes people connect with you, but it gives you a greater sense of self and humanity. But it just sucks that when that kind of like turns, and it can turn very, very quickly.
There's been a big conversation around that, specifically this idea of like women saying, that's why you'll never hear about my man, so I'll have a ring on my finger. And it's like, if a man's going to embarrass you, he's going to embarrass you. Like, let's not put the onus on women. This idea of like, you should hide your partner, don't tell. Like, there's a whole thing on social media where women will post their wedding photo and blank out the man's face. And it's like, so do you think he has hoes, or like,
y'all are doing too much? Y'all are doing way too much.
Too much. And I'm really of the mind, again, like, you should do whatever you want when it comes to your own privacy in your own relationship. But I think demonizing someone, whether it be Meg Thee Stallion or any woman, for being happy that they are in love, I think is the wrong lesson here, because ultimately it's putting the onus on the woman versus it's not the woman who's at fault. If the man cheats, or the man, has a baby or a secret family or whatever, that's the person that messed up. And I also think that we have an obligation to other women to protect them, to air their asses out. Right. To not be silent about the ways in which someone has hurt us, the way that we've demonized gossip, the idea of gossip, and I don't know the etymology exactly, but it is around this idea of like, that's how women would protect each other. So of course it turns into, oh, gossip is bad. No, gossip is how you go, that person don't pay on time. That person is a rapist. You should cover your drink around that person.
Gossip's also currency, right? Gossip feels good. You got to let people know. Like, for real, though. I mean, I often say, if I didn't complain or if I didn't gossip, I wouldn't have anything to say half the time.
Listen, Delon, you and I, we just chap all the time. But I will tell you, there is a feeling that goes through my soul when I'm with somebody out at dinner or on the phone, and they say, can I be a bitch for a second? And I say, ooh, yes, be a bitch. Be a bitch.
You know what I love? My favorite thing to do is I go, safe space. Safe space. Means I'm about to say something that I have nobody. Please don't say anything. I'm about to talk some shit right here, now.
This is going to stay in the circle of trust. We're about to talk some shit. Yeah. And so again, this whole idea, I've seen so many men and women celebrating this breakup as if it somehow gives them a leg up on Meg Thee Stallion, which I think...
Why do people hate her so much? Why are they so mad at her?
Because she's a dark-skinned Black woman who talks about her sexuality and had the nerve to go up against Tory Lanez, a man who, let's be real, no one was listening to his fucking music. Nobody cared about him until, literally, this happens all the time. A man will get accused of abusing a woman, and suddenly all of these men will rise up like fucking Voltron and be like, oh, I agree with him. Oh, well, I have to stand up for him, because they see themselves in those fucking abusers. They see, and so again, they have made her, and it's so sad because men are allowed to rap about the hoes and the bitches and the blah, 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 but a woman does it and suddenly it's, oh my God, you can't talk about liking sex. You can't talk about, there's these rumors about who she slept with and did, and I don't give a fuck who she slept with. She's an adult. She can do whatever she wants.
I think a part of that too, though, is that like, on the whole, we don't like women in this country. And if we don't like black women, especially in this country, right?
And we don't like black women that like themselves. Shape the fucking table on that one.
Right. Well, and it's about it's a hierarchy. And I hate to take it back to white supremacy, but I think all roads lead back to capitalism and white supremacy, which are one and the same, which are adjacent things. It's a hierarchy, right? How dare you love yourself, talk about your sexuality, be proud, walk out here being sexy and all of that, and I don't have a leg up on you. I can't. You're above me for some reason.
And I've been told I'm the superior. And I've been told I'm the superior race.
Right.
And I don't look like you. I don't talk like you. Right, exactly. And we've talked about this so many times on the pod, but it all comes back to a deep-seated self-loathing and insecurity, because the men I see talking about Meg the Stallion, your beer don't connect. You know, you sleeping on a mattress on the floor. You ain't got a bed frame.
Holes got socks in them.
You are talking about high value, this and that, and your life is in shambles. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
These men who spend all this time talking about, I don't want women who do blah blah blah, and that's why I don't need a gold digger. Blah, 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 blah. And it's
did I say holes have socks in them? Socks have holes in them. I definitely did. Dyslexia.
You know what?
Dyslexia.
You know, I'm proud of you for catching it, though.
I was like, wait, what did I just say?
You were on a roll, okay?
I was excited about it.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but you know what? I believe we're going to get a fire album out of this. That's where Klay really fucked up, because she's about to go in the booth.
Well, and she did say, I mean, because again, she was putting him on blast. She put her own stuff out there. She was like, after I made dinner for your family, after I like took your abuse when you were going through a moment, and I stuck through blah, 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 blah. I mean, listen, if I was pissed about some cheating, you would hear from me too. You would hear from me too.
But again, there was a lot of people, I heard, this is a phrase I see all the time, don't do wifely duties if you're not a wife. And like, I don't believe that we should.
That's love.
I don't believe we should shame women for saying, I liked this person, so I did things for them. Like, I don't think that you are weak for loving somebody. I don't think you are naive to, again, don't ignore red flags. And I'm not somebody to victim blame, and I don't know the inner workings. So I feel a tremendous amount of empathy for her. I do think that we should warn each other when we've been in a relationship with someone who's treated us badly, to like let other people know what they're walking into. But I think it's a lot easier from the outside looking in to be like, she shouldn't have done this, she shouldn't have done that, she shouldn't have done that. Like, I don't know, like when you fall for somebody, you fall for somebody. She's beating herself up enough as it is. Ultimately, he cheated. Right. He did the wrong thing, not her.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, we're all capable of judging people because I do it every day. But the idea, I think, when you are judging somebody in that respect, it's you checking off a checklist and trying to be morally righteous. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that. Well, you know what? You're also capable of being human too. You're also capable. I actually hope that for you. I hope that you fall so in love that you're so open that you're capable of having your heart broken. I don't want your heart broken. Yeah. But like that's a beautiful.
It's better to have loved. What is it? It's better to have loved and lost.
Than not loved at all.
Never to have loved at all. Exactly.
Right.
And you know what? Let me also just preemptively say, because members of the class was trying to drag me because I was showing empathy to Justin Bieber. I am never going to apologize for trying to show care. Like, even if it's somebody that I don't necessarily like or agree with. I am biased because I really do like Meg the Stallion. But I do think it's okay to like be vulnerable and be in love. And I think that is a powerful, fuck you. Fuck you.
This is just a new woman. This is a new woman. And we're all growth and all of it. Wait, speaking of growth, they were calling you a pick-me.
They were calling me up.
Y'all call her a pick-me. She ain't no pick-me. Come on now.
And no, it wasn't everybody, but there were a few people in the comments.
It only takes one to get under your skin.
This time it was about 3 of them. It was about 3. And you know what?
She remembers your name and where you live.
Well, I texted Delon. I said, first they came for Delon, and I said nothing. Then they came for me.
Next they're going to come for the pod. Get out.
But you know what? Again, I think many things can be true, and this is something we talk about all the time. Nuance is a real thing, and I will admit I am in my like lovey-dovey mushy era, and I'm thankful for it. And look, I don't want it to end, but like I also think that like when you think you found your person, you're excited about it. And I'm not going to fault her for doing that. And I think it's really shitty that people across the gender spectrum, it's more men than women, Black men specifically, are beating up on her and are reveling in the fact that she's sad. I just think it's fucking disgusting.
Well, to your point about the album, I hope that, like, I don't know if she has a therapist, but if nothing else, the album, the art can be therapy. That is growth, right? I appreciate like where you are. I mean, I jest, but I appreciate where you are in life, because I'm an empath and a softie anyway. It's a lot of growth, which is a great segue to.
Oh wait, I just want to say, Meg, my fix is you should call Cardi and ask her to slice his tires, because I feel like Cardi. Cardi's not afraid to throw down.
Cardi was yelling at y'all in Atlanta. Okay, she said, "I ain't doing the fucking show." So, class, we have talked about. We're going to hop over to the comments from the class, but one of the things we wanted to follow up with you on is that we are going to do the Artist's Way. We are going to start this. I think we said May 11th, right?
The week of May 11th. Yes.
Great. So, class, if you want to join in with us, like we said, we're going to have like little short videos that we're going to post adjacent to our regular episodes. So tune into those, but please let us know. Send us an email, DM us at fixitpod, lemmefixitpod@gmail.com, and let us know if you want to join, so we know how many people we're going to have. So we can also shout you out on a regular basis as well.
Yes. So let's highlight one of the comments that mentioned it. This is from Pop Girl CB. It says, "I would love to do the Artist's Way with you. I'm currently in a Zoom cohort and it's coming to an end in a couple of weeks. And I was getting sad that it was coming to an end. I would love to go through the process again. There are people in the current cohort who have done it multiple times and have said that they get different things every time they do it. So I really want to do it again." Delon, the response has been phenomenal. I think I told you I've been hosting this morning mic that you call my geriatric stand-up comedy mic. But I did it this past weekend, and one of the comics came up to me and she was like, "Oh my God, I saw your post about the Artist's Way. I'm so excited that you're doing it." She's like, "That book has changed my life." She's like, "Please tell me when you're going to do it. I'm going to do it." Like, it was just so cool. I just have never seen her that excited to talk to me about something I posted on social before. I was like, "Oh, you watch my content now."
My friends are also saying that. My friend Marlena, there was somebody else who was like, "Hey, I would love to do the Artist's Way with you." I was like, "Yeah, come on, we're going to do it every week."
Yeah, it's, and I think the thing that I said to you recently, class, I've been burning the candle at both ends. I've been in a funk, and I was really just thinking, wow, this is, I think, the sign that I really need to do this Artist Way, because I just need a reframe on my artistic power. And, I think I've just been having this moment of like, it's like the getting older of it all, where I'm
it's
like,
that midlife crisis, girl.
I'm like, look, I'm doing well, don't get me wrong, but it's like the reality of like, my body's not doing what it used to do. And I'm like, looking at myself every day and being like, God,
girl,
look at all
I
of
came
this.
on the video and I was like, oh my God, I actually look like this. The other thing is like, the other part of it is like, I have a regular phrase when I'm like, God, I didn't know it was going to be this hard. I just thought when I wanted to be an adult so bad, class, I just wanted to have so much control over my life.
Yeah.
And I knew bills happened, right? But I know I had to like pay them motherfuckers like this,
Yeah.
Like,
and they just keep coming.
They just keep coming. And I have Fran and I, guys, class, we hustle. Fran and I have 17 jobs and they just keep coming. Thankfully, please, universe, because he needs the money.
And let me tell you, I didn't. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just like, but like that's like we shouldn't have to do that to be middle class, and I'm barely middle class here, right?
Yeah, yeah. I feel like Delon, child. I had to turn down. I got offered another job.
I mean,
please, I can't.
Same.
I can't. I
had a conversation today. I was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. How much would pay?
I would love some extra money, but I genuinely can't. I'm exhausted. I can't do another one. But what I need and what I'm missing is just a connection to my art and my creative power,
100%.
and to be able to create from a place of potential rather than, well, I can't do this because it's too expensive and nobody's going to want it and it's not good enough and look at what that person's doing and I'm too old and blah, blah, blah. And I just think it'll be really healing. And also what I'm excited about that people have shared with us is that you and I are very creative and we're really hardworking. And I think it's powerful for people to see other people who maybe they're like, wow, I'd love to do what they're doing, or wow, they've made it, having like this reflective, vulnerable moment where it's like,
Yeah.
we don't have it all figured out. We're still, there's still things that we would like to achieve.
I'm looking out here looking for the lamp and rubbing on it to get my 3 wishes. Okay.
Yeah.
The wish that I have for you in this artist way process,
Yes.
Fran, is that you are such an artist in so many different ways, but I wish that you find a way to create that's outside of any kind of typical box. Meaning you are a writer, you are a social media creator and consultant, you're also a great graphic designer, you do visual art as well. I want to help you figure out what you can smash all those things in that doesn't like actually require you to go, I need a graphic design client. I need this studio to produce my script, right? Like what can you do with all of those things? That's my wish for you at the end of these 3 months when we're doing this.
I mean, that's been a big part of my return to stand up, is being able to like take creative control, but still, I still am wrestling with my process and like what I want to say and feeling like fear, I feel fear of like what people will say about me and getting out of my own way and if I'm being totally honest, like dealing with like jealousy, it's and sometimes the jealousy is for people that I actually am like really excited for, people that I'm like, I know you earned this amazing thing that you have and you've worked so hard and I want that for you, but I also have the feeling I'm like, damn, this is really highlighting for me the thing that I miss about.
What is that? What is the thing that you miss?
Ooh, I miss being able to like see my creative ideas like brought to life, like in a really tangible way. Like I can get on stage and tell jokes, but like I still want to be an actor, and I'm auditioning for stuff, and it is. We talk about this all the time, Dylan. It's so hard to do a full work day and then do like a 4-scene audition,
memorize the thing. Ugh.
And do all the stuff. And this is how I'm going into it.
I know.
I guess I gotta fucking do this audition. And I'm not like excited about it. I'm not going into it like with my fullest self. I'm going in I'm not going to get this. I'm so tired. I don't have time to learn the line. I'm cramming. I'm just not showing up in like a fully actualized, like, oh, I love making things. I love showing
I get to do this today.
I get to do this. Right. I'm not there. And to your point about like being able, and Delon, I would say I feel the same way about you, right? Like you've been working on this show and class. The music that Delon has written is so good.
Thank you.
You're so talented. Getting to see you direct, and seeing your students leave you those really sweet messages.
Oh
my God. I read all of those those comments and I was so proud. I was so happy for you. And I was just like, you went through that process and you were so hard on yourself the whole time.
Oh my God, the anxiety I had. The anxiety.
You were so hard on you.
I left her. I tried to record this message for Fran. I kid you not, like 6 different times. And I was pacing around my apartment being like, after the first rehearsal, I was like, oh, what am I doing? It's not going well. And it's just like, it's something I realize now I can't control it. And we're so type A, you and I, and there's so many things that we are in control of, but in a lot of ways, art just comes out of you, and you just do it and hope for the best. So I really appreciate that reflection. I also, goes without saying, I always appreciate how we hold space for one another. Because girl, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't make it through. Write that song. If it wasn't for you, I would make it through.
But I like this idea of us like in class, please tell us in the comments, May 11th, the week of May 11th is where we're going to start. But please tell us in the comments, if you're going to do it with us, what is your hope? What is the thing that you'd like to get out of it? Because I would really like Delon to get, the ability to see yourself as a true artist and like know that you can do it. And that like, that the first thing is not going to be perfect, but it's going to be pretty damn good.
Fran, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's perfectionist. I want it to be good, and I would say, knowing you for 20,000 years that we've been friends, the other side of what you were saying is, you want the validation from everyone else for your art.
Yeah.
Me too. And the fear of it is I'm going to do a thing and nobody's going to like it. Right.
Yeah.
And the same thing that you just said, sometimes you just have to shit that shit out. You just have to put it out and go, you know what? Fine. The next one. And you've done this with writing for years, right?
Yeah.
Just go. And now, like, we were just talking about this the other day. Ideas just come to you. You just like pump them out,
I can
right?
shit out ideas. I mean,
you know,
class,
so,
my
like,
job is an idea factory. I'm just like,
yeah. So like, I figure for both of us, I hope that we can figure out a relationship with that fear. Because the big part of all of this is just the act of doing it and getting it out, you know?
Yeah. Let me do one more comment. This is from Dominique BCLC. Dominique says, Delon, I'm glad you mentioned tandem reading. My son hates reading, and I think it's truly because he's not good at it. So I will download an audiobook through Libby, thanks, Fran, and allow the book to play as he reads the book in his lap. And it has improved his attitude around reading. That is so cute.
Man. I got to give that up to my sister, Salisa. I'm actually, we have a call later on about a book we're reading together. I'm listening to it. She's doing a tandem read with it. It's got, I said this before, I've read like 4 books because of this buddy read system that we're doing together. So that's also another thing I'll add. Well, you know what? If you're doing the artist way, you about to buddy read here on the pod. So welcome to it.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
Usually we would do a glow up. I don't have one, and we are getting close to time. And I know that you have to go and I have to go. Do you have a glow up?
I can make it really quick.
Okay, go ahead. Why don't you kick us off to tell the class what the glow up is?
Class, if you are new here, the glow up is an opportunity where we spotlight those who have changed themselves without our help. I messed that completely up.
And now it's time for everyone's favorite segment, the glow up, where we give props to those who turn themselves around
without
our help. Delon.
That's how the phrase goes. And welcome to the pod. I'm just giving this up to, I've criticized the Democrats, the Democratic establishment, the DNC, the Democratic National Convention a lot on this podcast because, again, I'm disillusioned, like I said earlier. But here's the thing. Class, if you're not into politics the way I am, gerrymandering is a huge way that they cut up states so that we can they can say how many, what population gets this number of representatives. The Senate is every state gets 2 representatives, right? 2 senators, and then representatives are based on population. So both parties do this. They gerrymander and they create all these shapes and states so that they have the best possibility of having more representatives. Republicans have been very good at this, but Democrats are catching up. It's bringing, I often say we bring balloons to a knife fight. We're catching on. California I think was last year, they had the referendum and they re-gerrymandered in favor of the Democrats. Virginia just did the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
So it was leaning toward Democrats 6-5, but now it's 10-1.
Wow.
For the Democrats. So I'm just giving it, keep going, y'all. I'm giving it up because now I have a little bit more faith that they're fighting the good fight here. So
oh my gosh. And more interviews with Democratic candidates coming very soon, class. So we're very excited about that. Well, this was a great episode. I teared up. And you know what? I'm not embarrassed.
It was beautiful.
Vulnerability for the win.
More. Come. Everyone will love you for it.
All right. Well, please email us, lemmefixitpod@gmail.com if you'd like to tell us about a news story, an artist, a book, a musician, or you want to send us a tagline with your voice note. All you got to do is email it to us. Say, welcome back to Let Me Fix It, the podcast that says, let us know. Or you can follow us over on Instagram @FixItPod.
And as we say every week, if you are new here, welcome. Hit that notification bell because we have episodes that drop every Wednesday.
Yeah.
And if you really like us, hit that subscription bell so you know when those episodes are dropping on a regular basis. And we have a group watch a live chat that happens. Friends always on the live chat. So that's a cute way to engage with us as well. Thank you for being here. We will see you next week. I'm Delon.
I'm Francesca, and this was
Lemme.
We're doing the artist way, week of May 11.
You know what? Let's try to get Julia Cameron on here. Is that her name?
Claim it.
That's a guess.